Hello children, welcome back to English class. In this video, we will be discussing the textual exercises of the lesson Wonderful Waste. So let's go through the textual exercises. I hope you're ready with your Marigold English reader. The first textual exercise we have in this lesson is Reading is Fun. In this section, Reading is Fun, there are 5 comprehension questions. Let us discuss these questions one by one, children. The first question is, what were the preparations in the palace for? The answer for this is very simple. The preparations in the palace were for a grand feast. So the answer is, there were preparations for a grand feast in the palace. Moving on to the second question, why did the Maharaja go into the kitchen in the afternoon? The king or the Maharaja wanted to survey the dishes that had been prepared for the feast, so he went into the kitchen. The answer is, the Maharaja went into the kitchen to see what dishes had been prepared for the feast. Moving further, we have the third question. What had the cook planned to do with the vegetable scraps? Children, you have learned that the cook had planned initially to throw away the vegetable scraps because it was waste. So we can write down, the cook had planned to throw away the vegetable scraps. Moving on to the fourth question. Ingredients are the things that are used to make a dish. Circle the ingredients of avial in the box below. So here is a box with a list of items. You need to go through these items one by one and circle the ingredients that are used to make avial. This surely is a fun activity. So come on children. The first ingredient is chilies, and we know it is one of the ingredients used in avial. So let's circle it, children. Groundnut is not used in the preparation of avial. Wood is not an ingredient, children. Next is vegetable scraps. And of course, vegetable scraps are used to make avial. Next is coconut. And that is also a key ingredient in this dish. We don't have roasted peanuts in avial. Then comes curd. Though a pot is used for cooking, it is not an ingredient. It's a vessel. Next is garlic, and garlic is also used in the preparation of avial. Then comes broken bangles. Then we have basket, and finally we have curry leaves. And yes, of course, curry leaves are used to garnish avial. The next question is, state whether the following are true or false. There are 3 statements given in this section, and it is based on the story Wonderful Waste. You need to go through these and find out which statement is true and which is false. The first one is, the king had ordered a dinner in the palace, and this is true. The next statement is, no one had heard of or tasted avial before, and this is also true, children. The final statement is, the cook had planned to make another dish using the vegetable scraps, which is false. Now the next activity included in this lesson is very interesting, children. A recipe is a list of directions to prepare a dish. The following sentences are not in order for preparing avial. Number them in the correct order. So children, here the recipe for the preparation of the dish avial is given. But the steps are not given in the correct order. So your task here is to arrange these sentences in the correct order so that the recipe for the dish is ready. So let's begin, children. First, I am going to read out all the steps that are listed out here. Grind some coconut, green chilies and garlic. Cut the vegetable scraps into long strips. Wash and clean the mix of vegetable bits. So this is the first step, children, and it is already marked here. Next sentence, decorate with curry leaves. Whip some curd and mix it in. Pour some coconut oil on top. Avial is ready. Since we already know the first step, let's hunt for the second step in the recipe. Yes, it is cut the vegetable scraps into long strips. After that, we need to grind some coconut, green chilies and garlic. Then you have to whip some curd and mix it in. After that, pour some coconut oil on top. And finally, decorate the curry with curry leaves. And your avial is ready. So here you have the recipe for the preparation of the dish avial, children. As you had learned from the lesson, avial is one of the most famous dishes from Kerala. With this recipe in hand, you can probably ask your mother to cook it for you. But remember, children, instead of using vegetable scraps, go for fresh vegetables. Let's get to the next exercise. Given in the box are some things that children do after they reach home from school. Choose 5 things that you do when you reach home from school. Write them in order. Given in the box are some things that children do after they reach home from school. Choose 5 things that you do when you reach home from school. Write them in order. Children, given in this box is a list of things that all students do after they come back from school. Let's first read them. Pack school bag. Put away school bag. Have lunch. Read a story book. Chat with mummy about school. Sleep for a while. Wash up. Do the homework. Watch TV. Go to play. Change out of school uniform. So out of this list, you need to pick out the things which you do after coming back from school and arrange them in the right order. And write it down in the space that is provided in the textbook. So let's begin, children. The first thing that you do as soon as you enter house is to put away your school bag. So let's write, first, I put away my school bag, and then you change out of your school uniform, isn't it? So then I change out of school uniform is the second thing. Next, I wash up. After that, I chat with my mummy about school. And finally, I do the homework and go to play. So children, these are the things that every student does after reaching home from school. Children, the next textual exercise included in this lesson is let's talk. Pay attention while I read this part, children. The Maharaja was a wise man and ordered the cook to use the vegetable scraps instead of throwing them away. So this statement is about the wise Maharaja or king from the lesson Wonderful Waste, who ordered the cook not to waste vegetable scraps, instead asked him to find a way to make the vegetable scraps useful. This in turn led to the invention of a new curry named avial. Keeping this in mind, you need to name some of the things which are thrown away at home or in school. Children, some of the things that are thrown away at home and in school are scraps of paper, cardboard boxes, used up ball pens, vegetable peels, leaves and twigs, leftover food, etc. Next one is a classroom activity, children. Sit in groups of 4 and think of interesting ways in which they can be made useful. Waste paper can be turned into paper mache to make different articles. Similarly, cardboard boxes can be used to make teaching models. Also, vegetable peels, leaves and twigs, and leftover food can be used to make compost. So these are ways in which we can transform waste into something useful. Going forward, we have the next textual exercise, which is word building. Some words have more than one meaning. For example, point. The word point As a noun means a dot in print or writing, or it can mean full stop or a decimal or the number you score in a game. Whereas it has a totally different meaning when it is a verb. As a verb, the word point means to show or call attention to something. Now, look up the following words in the dictionary. They may have more than one meaning. List these meanings. Children, before we do this exercise, let's learn about homographs. Homographs are words with same spelling but different meaning. These words may or may not have the same pronunciation. The word homographs has derived from two words, homo and graph. The word homo means same, whereas the word graph means writing or spelling. So, homographs are words with same writing or spelling, but they have different meaning. Let's go through a few examples, children. In the first picture, the aeroplane has landed on the runway. And the word landed means to come down through the air and rest on the ground. As the word land describes an action, it's a verb here. Coming to the second picture, you will find a land which is covered with grass and trees. Here, the word land refers to a part of the earth's surface. And the word land is a noun here. Next is the word wave. The word wave refers to the waves in the sea. Whereas the second meaning of the word wave is to move your hands. So here on the screen, you will find a girl waving her hand. Here the word wave is an action word or a verb. Next, we have the homograph watch. In the first example of a boy looking at his watch, it refers to a machine that tells time. So it is a noun. Whereas in the second picture, the girl is watching television. So here, the word watches describes an action. So it is a verb. Next, we have the word bat. It refers to a flying mammal that often comes out in the night. Here, the word bat is a noun. The word bat also refers to a cricket bat. Here again, the word bat is a noun. Next, we have the word bark. In the first picture, the word bark means the tough exterior covering of a stem. So here it is a noun. Whereas in the second picture, the word bark refers to the loud, short noise of a dog. Here, barking is an action word, so it is a verb. So children, homographs are words with same spelling, but they have different meanings. Now, I hope you have understood how words have different meanings based on the parts of speech to which they belong. Let's now try to do the exercise. Children, you can look up the meaning of these words in a dictionary. The first word, ground, as a noun means the solid surface of the earth. The word ground as a verb is the past tense form of grind, which means to make paste. The next word is survey. As a noun, the word survey means a short summary. But as a verb, it means to look over carefully. Moving on to the next word, scrap. As a noun, the word scrap refers to some waste material that is to be thrown. As a verb, it means to remove or discard. The next word, sternly, is an adjective and it means strictly. Finally, we have the word tempting, which is also an adjective and it means attractive or appealing. Next, we have a very interesting activity, children. Make new words by adding or dropping a few letters from the root word. Some are done for you. Children, on the extreme left, there are 8 words: pound, try, large, new, tasty, wise, stare, and clean.
You need to find out if you can add these suffixes to these words to make new words. These are the base or the root words. You must be wondering what a suffix is. A suffix is a letter or a group of letters attached to a word to form a new word. In the case of the first word pound, by adding the suffix ed, we get the word pounded. Same way, by adding the suffix ing, we get pounding. But the suffixes er and est do not go along with the word pound. Next, we have the word try, and by adding the suffix ed, we get tried. We can also add the suffix ing and form the word trying. Next, we have an adjective, and by adding the suffix er, we get the word larger. Same way, by adding the suffix est, we get the word largest. Then we have new, and by adding er to it, we get newer. When we add the suffix est to the word new, we get newest. Next is the word tasty. Unlike other words, the word tasty takes in all these suffixes. So you get tasted, tasting, tastier, and finally by adding the suffix est, you get tastiest. Next is the word wise, and by adding er, we get the word wiser. Similarly, by adding est, we get the word wisest. Then we have the word stare, and by adding the suffix ed, we get the word stared. Then by adding ing to the word stare, we get the word staring. And finally, we have the word clean. Children, just like the word tasty, which accepts all these suffixes, clean is also a word that accepts all these suffixes. So by adding ed to the word clean, we get cleaned. And by adding the suffix ing, we get cleaning. And then we can make the word cleaner and cleanest. Now look down, children. Do any of these words use all four endings? Yes, there are two words that use all these four endings. And which are they, children? Very good. Tasty and clean. So always remember, children, a suffix is a letter or a group of letters attached to a word to form a new word. Suffixes are also added to change the grammatical function of the word. Children, by adding the suffix ed to a word, we get its past tense. Similarly, by adding the suffix ing, we get the continuous tense. And by adding the suffix er to an adjective, we get the comparative form. And finally, by adding the suffix est, we get the superlative form of the adjective. The next exercise listed here is find out. Name food that is made in your home for a feast or festival. Children, you need to write down the food that is prepared in your home for a feast or a festival. Definitely for a festival, your mother prepares something special, isn't it? So the things that we prepare on a festival are fried rice, paneer curry, puris, sweets, etc. And what is the food that is prepared when you are unwell? When you are unwell, your mother prepares khichdi and dalia. And what is the food that is prepared every day in your houses? It is idli, dosa, chapati, dal, rice, curd, vegetable curries, rasam, etc. Under the section Find Out, the second activity is Avial is a dish made in Kerala. Do you have a similar dish in your state made from a mix of many vegetables? What is it called? Children, you need to look for a dish in your state that is prepared from a mix of many vegetables and then write down its name here. And later, note down the ingredients used to make it. You can ask your mother about the ingredients of this vegetable curry and then write down the recipe of this curry in a paper and present attractively and display on the classboard. You can draw and stick pictures too. Children, this is going to be your homework. Children, here is an interesting story for you. The title of this story is Bamboo Curry. Look at this picture, children. This is bamboo plant. Have you ever eaten a dish made of bamboo? Let's read this picture story and find out Which part of bamboo can be cooked and eaten? One day, the mother-in-law of a Santal bridegroom cooked a special dish for him when he visited her. This curry is delicious. What is it? The mother-in-law pointed at the bamboo door. Next morning, just as he was about to leave, he remembered that there was no bamboo in his village. So he removed the bamboo door and carrying it with him, left for his home. On reaching his village, he told his wife, "Make curry with this bamboo door." She was shocked. "How can I make curry out of a bamboo door?" "Hmm, help you by chopping up the bamboo," he said. His wife boiled it and boiled it. Later, when her husband tasted it, he said, "It is too hard to eat. You don't know how to cook." His wife added more water and boiled it and boiled it. "It is still too hard. I can't eat it." The in laws came to visit the young couple that evening. They all laughed at his foolishness. The mother in law said, "Didn't you know the curry was made from bamboo shoot and not from a bamboo door?" Children, a shoot is a young branch springing from the main stalk of a tree or other plant. It is very tender, and that is the reason why the Santal community use bamboo shoots to make curry. This is a Santal folk tale. Now, based on this story, there are a few comprehension questions. Let's try to do them. Let's write. Complete the sentences meaningfully. Number one, the bridegroom left with the door of his in law's house because it was made of dash. You know the answer, children? Bamboo is the answer here. And there was no bamboo in his village. Second one, the bridegroom was unable to have bamboo curry in the end because it was too hard to eat. Next is word hunt. Fill in the blanks with words from the story. So, children, you need to fill in these blanks with words from the story. The bridegroom went to visit his mother in law. Next one, the mother in law pointed dash dash the bamboo door. Pointed at the bamboo door. There is nothing here, children. You can ignore this blank. He stayed the night dash his in laws. With his in laws. He carried the dash back with him. He carried the bamboo door back with him. And finally, the curry was made dash bamboo shoots. The curry was made from bamboo shoots. Children, the last textual exercise included in this lesson is say aloud. Here are 6 words. All you need to do is repeat these words after me. The word impatient is pronounced as impatient. Impatient. The word delicious is pronounced as delicious. Delicious. Very good. The word boiled is pronounced as boiled. Boiled. Next is chopped and it is pronounced as chopped. Chopped. Next is bamboo and it is pronounced as bamboo. Bamboo. And the last word is began. began is began. So children, with this exercise, we have completed the lesson wonderful ways. Thank you for watching.